Hi, and welcome to another virtual brown bag lecture. I'm Harvee White. I'm the education manager here at the Augusta Museum of History. So glad that you can join us virtually today. If you ever have any questions about brown bag or any of the educational programs that we provide here at the museum, contact me. My email address is education@augustamuseum.org, and you can reach me by phone at 706-722-8454. Go nuts, because today is National Pecan Day. Do you say pecan or pecan? Tell me in the comments. But yes, happy National Pecan Day, a very fitting holiday for us Georgians. Today we have a very special lecture in store. It is all about sports, women in sports, and the athletic women of Augusta. I'm so proud to have gotten Milette Green, the head basketball coach at Augusta University, to talk to us today. And you'll see this one is a little bit different. It's more Q&A style. So I hope you like that new method. A little bit about Miss Green. She began her collegiate career at East Carolina University before transferring to the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, UMBC, from which she graduated in 2003. She completed her Master's of Business Administration and Master's of Science in Sports Management at Barry University in Miami Shores, Florida. She's now in her fourth year as the head coach for women's basketball at Augusta University. Like I said, this was a great conversation that I had with her, and I hope that you all enjoyed listening to it as much as I enjoyed having it. Thank you so much.
Milette Green, Augusta University Women's Basketball. Thankful for the opportunity. I started playing basketball around the age of 5. Originally, I started playing t-ball, and my father did not want me to play sports, especially play sports with the boys, but my mother noticed I was taller than most people in my age group, so she was like, I think she should participate in some type of sport. So after the first game, my father was surprised at how much I had done. And after that, he was driving me everywhere, making sure I was on time. So my athletic career started young. I had an older brother that introduced me to sports as well. And then basketball became my go-to sport in high school. I played other sports, but I knew basketball would be my ticket to college, and my goal was to earn a college scholarship so my parents didn't have to pay for school. In my senior year, I committed to East Carolina University, where I played basketball for 2 years, and I transferred to the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, where I completed my career. And then I decided that, my plan was to work in corporate America, or work in the front office of a professional basketball team or professional sport period. And I did my internship with the Charlotte Bobcats at the time. And during that experience, I realized I enjoyed going to the games at night than I did working in the front office. And that's when I decided that I was going to get into coaching. So I started to apply for jobs. I applied for over 100 jobs. I probably was rejected over 100 times. And then I was able to get a job late, which was September, and school was about to start at Robert Morris University, and that's where I started my coaching career in 2007. Fast forward to now, I was an assistant for 10 years at the Division I level before I became the head coach at Augusta University. I just finished my 4th year. This year was a very challenging year with the pandemic and COVID. My team was able to fight through adversity and accomplish some of our goals, and despite everything we went through, I was proud of my team overcoming the adversity to finish 5th in the conference. I think I just got off topic.
No, that's perfect. Yeah, I guess from your personal experience, and then I guess we'll get into what you know about Title IX and things like that. What is it like, I guess, being a student athlete, and specifically being a woman student athlete, and how do you think that's different, I guess?
I think I look at it differently as a coach than I did as a student athlete. I was just one of a couple of hundred in the athletic department competing for a university, and I did not pay attention to the statistics between women and men and the number of sports at each university. But now as a coach, I pay more attention to the opportunities for men and women, and Title IX has created equal opportunities for women, also to the resources provided to women in regards to what men receive too.
Okay. So what exactly, I guess, is Title IX for people who don't know? Or what did it do?
What did it do? That's a good question. I mean, Title IX was designed to create equal opportunities for women in not only athletics, but more specifically athletics. That's what we're talking about. From scholarships to locker rooms to travel, the whole realm of being an athlete, trying to make it equatable to men athletes' experiences.
Okay. Yeah, so going forward, do you think, I guess, how do you push your athletes, or how do you encourage your athletes? Yeah, I guess that's the end of that question, I guess.
How do I encourage my athletes? I think one of the reasons I enjoy coaching so much, because a lot of people think coaching is just X's and O's, but my job extends beyond that. I'm shaping the lives of young women. I encourage them to go out there and pursue whatever opportunities they want. I'm teaching them life skills, how to deal with adversity, how to perform on a team, how to be a team player, how to overcome adversity, how to climb the ranks, understanding you might be at a disadvantage, but how do you break through that ceiling? Coaching just extends beyond that, and my coaches gave me the opportunity to compete, and I think about the life skills they taught me, and the same thing I want for my players, you know, and sometimes we gotta understand we're working at a disadvantage, but that can't be an excuse for not reaching your goals. Let's fight to get to the top and create opportunities for the next group of women or next group of players, next student athletes at a university, but let's push through and make the best of what we do have.
Yeah,
while we fight for what we want.
Yeah, so incorporating, I guess, skills that athletes have into transferable life skills.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
That's important. Like when my players graduate, I want to be confident that they're equipped to go into the real world and perform on their jobs or their daily lives. That's my goal. When I write that letter of recommendation after graduation or close to graduation, as they're ready to pursue something, I want to be confident when I articulate what they can do and what type of person you're going to have working for you.
Yeah. I guess I didn't play a sport, and it's like college is so difficult as it is, and I can't imagine adding, you know, something on top of that, especially some of these athletes are, you know, practicing all the time and balancing that with actual schoolwork. So
it's very challenging. I think that's why student athletes are attracted to employers.
Yeah.
Because time management is key, especially players that are graduating from high school, then they're coming to college on their own. They don't have their parents waking them up, making sure they're up, making sure they're doing their homework. So it's their responsibility. And that's a role that I serve in and my staff serves in to support them in that transition. But it's challenging. Like, for instance, they have study hall 10 hours a week in addition to going to class. And then we practice 2 hours a day, and that requires preparation going into practice and post-practice. So that's a huge commitment. And I tell them it's like a job, you know, it's their job to be on time. Being on time is being early, performing at your job when you don't feel great. Like, I don't have great days every single day, but I got to come in as the leader and lead you, and I expect the same of you. Like, I understand you might have a bad day, but when you go on somebody's job, you're going to have to perform. So just teaching them those life skills to equip them for life.
Yeah. I guess, is there anything else I didn't ask that you wanted to cover?
I think it's a good opportunity for women's basketball. This was probably one of the best NCAA women's tournaments ever. They had the highest viewers of all time. So I see the game growing, all sports, but you know, I coach basketball, so I pay closer attention to that. And, you know, it was a whole controversy with the NCAA on how they treated men's basketball versus women's basketball. The sponsorship, the swag bag, the weight room.
I saw that.
So it's becoming obvious to more people, which is going to make them, you know, stand up and do what's required or create equal opportunities for both sports.
Yeah. So you do think that we're on the right path and going?
I think so, because it's a conversation now. And that's where it begins. Like, people are people are paying close attention. And it goes back to the student athletes. They're speaking up, and this generation has done a great job. Like I compare how I was as a student athlete to them. They have a voice, and they're using their voice. Not just about the difference between men's and women's, but social injustice, the election. And that's one thing I encourage my players to have is a voice. And I learned from them as well. Like during the election, we worked the polls and just to see how they were aware of what's going on in the world and just sharing. Same thing with the NCAA tournament, just different things, just having those open conversations and respecting everybody's opinions and differences.
Yeah, and I think that's interesting that you bring that up because I guess people have different opinions on, you know, the role of the athlete, student or otherwise, and what they should be involved in, or if they should just, you know, play a game and that's all, that's their job. But so it's really interesting that you bring up that, you know, these are people with opinions who not only play the sport, but they also do have a platform.
Yes. And I think it's awesome that they're using their platform, you know, and it starts with the professional athletes. I think they started the wave of more athletes speaking up, and now you find the young ones in college using their voices as well.
Yeah, and I think it was women athletes, basketball players, WNBA, that really started kind of using their platform, and then everybody followed suit. So it really is, I think, women lead a lot of things, a lot of movements, and don't always get the accolades that they deserve.
True. And I think about those WNBA players, they don't make that much money compared to the NBA players. So they were sacrificing a lot for their voice to be heard. You know, LeBron James makes millions of dollars. The top player in the WNBA might make a couple of $100,000. So that's a huge difference in salary loss.
Yeah. Is that something that you have to discuss with your athletes now, is kind of pay equity and things like that, or?
We have not. We have had that conversation, not in depth. That's a good conversation to have. I'm always looking for new things to talk to my players about and kind of get their opinion about their thought process. But that's definitely a good conversation for us to have, and not just in reference to sports, but other professions as
right.
well.
Yeah.
I would say I'm looking forward to this upcoming season with Augusta University women's basketball. Just our growth through adversity has really shown me a lot about this group. And they had the opportunity to sit and watch a lot of basketball this year instead of playing. So I don't think they would take another opportunity for granted. We're working now to get better before they go home for the spring break, and they got to continue to get better, come back next year ready to reach our goal and be a conference champion.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.